This is
criminals. Most recently, they issued 2 strikes to a YouTuber named PointCrow because he made videos on Breath of the Wild that featured modded content. And in the eyes of Nintendo, that is a sin more unforgivable than murder. So they threw the book at him. They were coming with the meat. They tried to give him the business. They issued 2 strikes, and it wasn't just modded content they targeted, by the way. They also just targeted other videos as well on other games. A lot.
No, that guy didn't. He was part of pirating rings, selling modding equipment. That's why that guy got sued. Yeah, I know. Which is still like fucking lame. Like come on, man. I don't give a fuck about pirating. You're in the wrong community if you think I'm gonna be like, wow, that's really fucked up. I can't believe he did that. Yeah, who cares? Suck my dick to Nintendo, okay? Yeah. And even if you are like, no, sorry, I'm Mr. Nintendo. Nintendo, my uncle is John Nintendo, and I'm Mr. Nintendo, and I think that's fucked up. You still don't think it's like insanely excessive that he went to jail, he served the time, and now he has to pay? Like they levied his they levied his wages basically for the rest of his life.
A lot of it did feature mods, but some of them were just vanilla gameplay videos that they absolutely had a conniption over. Nintendo for a long time has historically shown that they hate their fans and absolutely despise when people play their games or enjoy their games in ways that they didn't plan for or in ways that they don't approve of. So for PointCrow showing mods and having fun making content around mods, they, started screaming bah humbug and shaking their fist at the clouds and then hired their legal team of assassins to do as much damage to him as possible. And if it was up to Nintendo, they probably would have publicly hung PointCrow to make an example out of him for daring to play their games in a way they didn't intend for people to play them. Would have had him face...
No, literally, like Nintendo in the old school universe will be out here fucking putting PointCrow on like one of those like old timey things where your hands have to like hang by your head like this. And then they'd be like, throw all of your tomatoes at this person. Like you have to pelt him if you want to be able to play any of our games that we're releasing. Also, the games are still the same games for the most part.
Face the fucking firing squad. The reason I'm even mentioning all of this before talking about today's story is because it's only been 3 days and Nintendo has already upped the ante on how evil they can be and how unbelievably cruel they are. Like I made a claim in that video that they don't listen to the community, they don't care about, negative reputation that they have or community backlash. They don't listen to it, they just kind of brush it off like it's just little squeaking dog toys that they can just ignore. They don't care what the people are saying. They're not listening. But now, I'm almost convinced they must...
Remember during ReactGate when everybody shit on you for correctly saying that even gaming content is subject to copyright? Oh, fuck, dude. I do remember that, actually. Thank you for reminding me that I was right. Hey, guys. Hey, everybody. I was right. I've been right. I am right. I was right. And I'm still right. Of course, I am. But it doesn't change the reality that people are fucking stupid. Guess what, though? This shit is incredibly fucked up, right? It's super fucked up. We're in agreement. Okay, good. Oh.
Must have heard what the community was saying about how evil they were and said, oh, you think that's bad? Well, watch this. And then they went even harder into degeneracy. So, what they've done, or what was revealed to the public today, is that they have completely ruined a man's life. And I'm not exaggerating. They are putting a man in...
Nintendo would destroy an Italian orphanage if there was a kid named Luigi in there. That's a Twitter joke, but it's true. But it's still a Twitter joke, but still, it's very true. Yes. If an Italian village had an orphanage where there was one kid named Mario and another brother named Luigi, it's over. They would drone strike the village. They would eviscerate it. It would be reduced to nothing but ashes. And the rest of the world would let it happen. Because, like, the way that they arrested this guy, like, why the fuck does Imperial Japan have its tentacles in the United States of America? Like, I don't understand how a Japanese corporation from, like, 1883 could literally direct American law enforcement. It's insane.
In debt to them for the rest of his life. There's a guy named Gary Bowser, and I'm not making this up. This isn't an alias. His name is fucking Gary Bowser. This sounds like fanfic. This sounds like the plot to the new Mario Bros. Movie. Like, it actually sounds made up, but it's real. Gary Bowser was working with a company called Team Executor. They were a hacking group that would hack consoles for profit, and one of their biggest products was for Switch. They would basically jailbreak the Switch and they'd sell it and make money off it, and Gary Bowser was one of the prominent members of this team, allegedly. And in a couple of years ago, he got caught, and he served 40 months in jail. His time in jail is coming to a conclusion now, and he's about to be released, but he's not off the hook yet. In fact, he's on to an even deeper hook. One that is going to be a life of servitude to Nintendo, because they are coming after him for an additional $10 million plus that he will have to pay back over the course of the rest of his life. He is going to have to forfeit 25 to 30% of his income every single month to Nintendo until he can pay off his $10 million plus debt to them, because he was part of that hacking group. That is a legitimate, life-ruining obligation that he will...
Why is modifying hardware you paid for and then selling it illegal?
have to fulfill. Now, I want to make it clear, Gary Bowser is not a hero. He is not a saint. He was part of a group that was knowingly...
I disagree. I think he is a hero.
Breaking the law for profit. He wasn't doing anything, just. He wasn't some, holy figure, breaking the rules.
Dude, modding and selling modding equipment is infinitely more ethical than drop shipping. It's infinitely more ethical than being a scalper, okay? But still illegal. Straight up. They literally are making equipment so that other people can, enjoy it. Yeah, they're making money off of it, but yeah, they're putting labor into it. What the fuck? It's literally modding a car and then selling it? No, it's not. Because Nintendo makes money off the IP that they maintain. They don't just make money off the hardware. They make money off the software that they sell that's only compatible, unless you have some certain emulators or something like that, that is only playable on their own hardware. So here's the reality, okay? They want to make more money. You know what it would be like? John Deere. John Deere, and this is actually a huge problem in the farming community, John Deere doesn't just sell farm equipment. They don't just sell heavy industrial tools. They sell the software. They basically license the tools for you. And then you have to constantly keep paying for the software over and over again. And they can actually shut that shit down from afar if you choose not to do so. Okay? So this would be like right to repair laws that are pretty popular on the internet. I'm a very big advocate for it as well. Like, if you wanted to repair your John Deere tractor and you didn't want to take it to the fucking, John Deere factory, okay, and not get cut out of the tractor subscription that you have, that would be the equivalent here. If someone was like, hey, I know how to repair these shits, don't worry about it. Let's break that goddamn John Deere tractor. Let's jailbreak it and let's repair it. Let's work on it. Okay? It would be like that. And then they sold their tool that jailbreaks the John Deere tractors. But because John Deere's revenue also revolves around consistently extending that subscription to you, they would go absolute bananas mode on you. Okay? They would not want that. It's fucked up, still illegal. So no, I do think that it's absolutely bullshit that these guys got in any way, shape, or form. Oh, this is the mod chip that they made. Look at that. They had a nice little fucking sign on it and shit. Like, look, they printed stuff on it. I think someone wanted to get the new Zelda is a bit different than a farmer's livelihood. Wait, what? The principle is still the same, dude. What are you talking about? Nintendo sells you hardware and they make money off the software that they sell you. If you want to fucking, if you don't want to pay for the software, if you don't have money for the software, you can just buy an emulator. Or you can, you know, get this thing and you can play games for free, right? Isn't that how this works? Most console hacks aren't even for pirating, it's for emus and homebrew shit. Yeah. Apple doesn't let you even repair an iPhone unless they themselves repair the iPhone. Yeah. They're also selling other hobbyists work without attribution or compensation. Console hackers are shocked after DOJ arrests prominent mod chip makers. Team executives captured definitely spooked a lot of people in the community. Friday, Department of Justice also names Yuan Ning, 100 plus Chen, get to be arrested. Alleged crimes, variety of products designed to be circumvention devices that had the purpose of allowing users to play pirated ROMs. The indictment. Look, you're never going to convince me on this because I grew up in Turkey. Okay? And if it wasn't for pirated games, if it wasn't for all the piracy that I engaged in at a young age, I would have never been able to play any fucking games whatsoever because, unfortunately, due to rigorous IP controls and how goddamn expensive video games are in a country like Turkey, and also on top of that, literal like distribution rights that wouldn't arrive in my fucking country until many, many years down the line. I would never be able to play any of these fucking games. So I do not give a shit. I am always going to be in support of piracy, okay? It's awesome. I am a huge fan of piracy. I think it's great. Art should be cherished. Art should be celebrated. Art should be consumed. Piracy is a major way to allow that to happen, okay? You expand it. You expand it to the world globally. You give access to those who do not have access. Not everything has to be about fucking, you know, increasing the bottom line of mega corporations. I don't give a fuck. It's awesome. I am a super big fan of piracy. Okay? I hate copyright. That's it. Anyway. But yeah, go ahead. Defend Nintendo's bottom line and say that, like, yo, no, actually, new games or even old games are well worthy of the $70 because they have a monopoly on it. It's only on their systems. It's only playable on their own systems, so they control the prices. They keep the prices the way that they do always. Also, by the way, once again, I just want to point out to everybody that I was right with respect to Nintendo being such aggressive DMCA copyright holders that they struck down our boy Point Crow. It's really fucked up. So remember that. They can come for your content as well. Yeah, but they own those licenses. Yeah, they can suck my nut. I don't give a fuck who owns the licenses. I don't believe in it. I don't care. Okay? If you're going to do illegal shit like this, I'm not going to criticize you. Straight up. Does that make sense? I'm not. For me, the main reason why I don't pirate shit is because convenience. Now, especially. Like, that's it. That's the only reason why I don't pirate shit. Just pure convenience. Because everything is like available through streamers. Same with like video games and stuff. I can pay for it. I don't give a fuck. So I do it. Okay? Teach people how to pirate. Just don't profit off of it easy. No, it's fine. I'm fine with them fucking making money off this too. It'd be funny if they literally tried to copy strike another copycat emulator. That's what would be funny. If they were like, oh, what the fuck? How dare you? Listen. If they are using these emulators to like steal other random people's like works of art, not giving any sort of like attribution to them or anything like that, then that's fucked up. That's an entirely separate point though. My sister's ex-boyfriend got a felony for privacy in 2004. It's not even a felony anymore, but they won't clear his record. Anyway. Game are works of art, though? Yes, they are. Why wouldn't you? Would you be okay with people lifting your streams wholesale and posting it on YouTube? Didn't think so, fake socialist? Yeah, exactly. I would be so mad if people did that. They were hacking devices for a profit, as TX did. Goes against the open source information sharing ethos of the wider console hacking community. That does make a little bit more sense. But as long as you're like justifying it for the material that you're using, then that's fine. Not everyone in the community begrudged Team Executive for making a profit off of a useful product, though. Personally, I thought it was nice that those who wanted to mess around with their console could do so without much effort. Since SXOS is considered to be much easier to use for newbies than Atmosphere or Rainix, referring to two open source custom firmware solutions for Nintendo Switch. Open source Switch hacking options still haven't cracked that new design, though Aurora says such support is on the way. Huh. Team Executor also earned negative attention from some of the hacking scene for being more explicit than most and directly acknowledging the privacy element in the room. Most of the hacking community avoid direct talk or support for software piracy in public forums, focusing instead on custom firmware features and homebrew software. The DOJ indictment notes that TX largely did the same, attempting to cloak its illegal activity with a purported desire to support homebrew enthusiasts who wanted to design their own games. The cloak did slip on occasion, though. A public changelog for SXOS publicly trumpeted the future of launching your own retro game ROMs for emulators directly from G Drive, for instance. Wow, how fucked up. That's really fucked up, man. You can play all your favorite game backups straight off the micro SD card or external USB storage inserted into your Nintendo Switch. While that technically refers to backups users can make of their own legitimately purchased software, the implications for playing backup ROMs downloaded from the internet is relatively clear. They've cracked all forms of Switches, even the newest OLEDs. You can hard mod it with a Pico $10 chip on Amazon. It's pretty clear that even from their website, they do support piracy in some capacity. Of course they do. And they should. I am a supporter. I'm not like super annoying about it. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm doing an activism by pirating shit. You know what I mean? I'm not like one of those people. But I don't have an issue with it. And I think it's silly to have an issue with it. The internet is made for piracy. I am a slut for open source software sharing. I think hardware is great. I think the software component is great. It's awesome. It's ridiculous. We in the streaming industry quite literally utilize the shared structure of open source still to this day. OBS is open source. Half of the fucking bots that we use on this channel are either fan-made or made by other people in members of the community. It is literally collective action that runs this entire space. So whenever I see people that look at that collective action, that look at that open source software, that look at all of this and say, oh no, we actually need to put a price tag on all this. We actually need to make sure that you can't legitimately utilize IP. IP is actually really important. It's profoundly important. We need to maintain IP protections. It's so stupid. I find that to be ridiculous. Aiden's birthday in UK land, by the way. Happy birthday, Aiden. There you go. Fossabot is another example of this. A lot of you hate Fossabot, but without it, we would not be able to have normal free flow communication in this fucking chat because some of you are unhinged demons. Chatterino was made by a Forsen boy. Many of the things that we take for granted are made by people in Forsen's community. FFZ, BTTV, there you go. Anyway, I just don't care. I think it's crazy. Yeah, support the devs who make the game, certainly. I mean, I do. Even though, you know, most of the time you're just like, is the line on copyrighted watching for you is a small production? Like, I wouldn't pirate Creator Clash or Friend stuff, but because Nintendo's a mega corporation, it's okay. I agree with that, by the way. Yeah. I mean, exactly. You can draw your own personal line. I'm not going to fucking lose my mind over it. That's my line for the most part.
For the benefit of everyone, they were very much in it just to make money off of all of this. He knew it was wrong, and what he's done is illegal. But I would argue spending 40 months in jail is punishment that fits the crime. I don't think they needed to add on an additional fucking generational debt that he and his grandkids wouldn't even be able to pay. Now, of course, his family's not going to be obligated to pick up the tab on the $10 million plus that he owes.
Yeah, come on. Now it's not college. It's not student loan debt. You know what I mean?
When he dies. But you get the point. The amount of money that Nintendo is forcing him to pay back over the course of his lifetime is one that could never be fulfilled by him and his kids working and his grandkids working and maybe even his great-grandkids working. It is an absurd punishment. Once again, I understand what he did was wrong and he's not a good guy, but this is just beyond excessive. Nintendo is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that's now face-fucking one random average guy in particular, forcing him to pay back a debt that he will never be able to repay. That $10 or $14 million means absolutely nothing to Nintendo. They wipe their ass with that amount of cash. Meanwhile, that means that Gary Bowser will never be able to live a normal life. He's going to be constantly paying this back forever. He's going to die with negative $10 million to his name. Like, he won't even be able to afford a coffin to be buried in. Like, it's just so far into the realm of lunacy here. And I actually imagine Nintendo celebrating this victory with handshakes all around and then laughing at the misery of Gary Bowser, who now has to send 25 to 30% of his income to this company every single month, where once again, I imagine once they receive those checks, they throw it right in the trash can and forget about it because that amount of money is completely meaningless to them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's about
the situation
sending a
is
message.
wild, but this is kind of the story, like the general overview of it. I went over it more on stream, so I'll just play some clips.
Wait, this has to be illegal, right? What Nintendo's doing? No, man. Of course it's not illegal what Nintendo's doing. How? We live in a capitalist organization of the economy, okay? That means whatever capital owners say goes, okay? Rigid IP protections is a big part of that, okay? That's it. They could literally enslave this man for the rest of his life. And as long as they're not like, oh, it's a little bit much, Nintendo, how about you don't do that? You know, they can get away with it. So here's the thing. Piracy is more illegal than hiring child labor in this country. We talked about this the other day. A fun, but not really so fun fact is that piracy in this country can put you in prison for longer and has a harsher punishment in the form of a financial, a fine The maximum penalty for child labor violation, which is, say, illegally employing children, is a fine of $15,138 per child with no prison time. The maximum penalty for pirating a film is up to $250,000 and 3 years in prison. So remember that when you make an argument about piracy or whatever the fuck, remember that the law is designed. The law is designed in a way to protect corporate interests. That's it. Anyway, I understand that it's illegal. I just don't personally care, and I don't think you should either. I think it is crazy to care about this. I don't know. I wish to live in a world where we, do art for the sake of art and not necessarily for the sake of financial compensation. In the case of Team Executor, I think what took them down was the fact that their software, which was closed source and basically the Switch OS Modify, was DRM locked to the hardware that they sold. Easy to say when you're not a broke artist. Yes, the brokest artist of all time, Nintendo Corporation. I hate this. I'm sorry. Artists, like broke artists, are literally some of the most annoying motherfuckers when it comes to patent, when it comes to like IP protections, because like absolutely zero people are stealing your art. Okay, no one wants to steal your fucking art. And as a matter of fact, if they do steal your fucking art, they're assholes. Okay. You are infinitely more likely to have your art stolen by a mega corporation that literally will then slap on a fucking IP protection on top of that, your art, okay, than it is for you to like actually get financial compensation through the legal measures that are only available to Nintendo Corporation, okay? You are so fucking stupid if you think that you as a small artist are going to get any kind of financial restitution for anyone stealing your art, let alone a major company stealing your fucking art. These laws are not made for you. They lie to you by claiming that they are there to protect you. They don't protect you. You're a fucking idiot if you ever defend it, okay? Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord. They aren't a broke artist. They're just a temporarily embarrassed Nintendo. Exactly. You do not see yourself as an exploited broke artist whose work is being stolen. You see yourself as a temporarily embarrassed Nintendo motherfucker. That's why you're making that argument. Oh, one day, what if I'm Nintendo and then, someone tries to fucking steal my art? Regarding IP theft, I'm not going to go for round 2 where I steal the segue and debate chat with the top of the hour ad break. Okay, that's 6:54. You're 6 minutes too early for that, you fucking asshole. 2 in a row? You're... Chat, yell at this man. He's getting too hungry. Gee, I would really hate it if one day I was a millionaire that some guy was taking thousands from me. Exactly. This guy here, so I don't know what we're talking about. As a musician who makes most of their living from my copyrights being protected, including by megacorps in some circumstances, this is where I diverge from your takes. Yeah. Like, listen, as an independent artist, okay, I don't have an issue with independent artists like having some level of protection. I get that, especially if that's how you make your money. But it's so fucking stupid to make it seem like that is how this shit works in the overwhelming majority of cases. and the corporation is not protecting your copyright. The corporation is protecting its own bottom line and only cutting you a small percentage of that. You know this better than anybody else. Now have the same take, but with the SEC having rules protecting the wealthy and not the common man. Wait, what? No, it's the exact same. Wait, first of all, the SEC, that is precisely what happens with the SEC. That's a gigantic issue with the SEC. Wait, what? The SEC is a regulatory agency that pretty much regularly goes after people that are, low-level offenders, and they give you nothing. Like, they give you a slap on the wrist if you're like a fucking mega wealthy person. Look at Elon Musk. Fuck you mean? Team executives sort of known in the scene as having scummy practices such as taking public knowledge and open source software, tweaking it, logging it behind licenses of hardware. Not true in all cases, but all in all, still an insane ruling and setting an insane precedent for these corporate fucks to shit on people abusing their IP. Artists and charity, but structure needs to be changed so artists and coders can get more of their value. Stop pretending copywriting is only for big companies. I'm a small dev. I sell software for a living, and I also write open source stuff. Don't private or steal from small artists. Your attitude also devalues art as a whole. That's the issue. Oh my God. I have repeated myself 700 gorillion times. Copyright, in the overwhelming majority of cases, is only protecting mega corporations. If a mega corporation wants to steal from you, good luck trying to fucking get any kind of legal recourse on your side. Okay? Copyright technically should help small artists, but that is a lie told by big corporations to justify IP protections. Okay? Everyone hears anything I'm saying at the end of the day and goes, oh, he means like he doesn't value my art. He means you should be able to steal my art. Hasan is saying he should be able to steal my art like Elon Musk steals memes. Okay? Ay, ay, ay. You're making a straw man out of the dumbest interpretation of the pushback. I was just saying the ideal of being an artist with no profit in mind is pretty pipe dreamy, not defending corporations. Bro, I love when we talk about capitalism as a whole, okay, and how it needs to be eviscerated on a daily basis. But every fucking Etsy artist in here literally turns into the most rugged oil baron the moment I talk about a future that will probably never exist really, but a future where like art should be done for the sake of art and not necessarily for a transactional value. And everybody goes, how dare you, dude? I'm making the next Mickey Mouse, motherfucker. Like, calm down. I know that it's not going to happen, okay? It is a pipe dream. It's not going to stop me from talking about my own perspective on the matter. Holy fucking shit. It's so weird. It's so odd, dude. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make money with your art, especially right now, under this current structure. Anyway. Everyone turns into like, you're saying You're saying we shouldn't need to, and we should be able to make art because we want to. Exactly. Love you, but you really don't know anything about art. I know, Tommy Stills. I know. I don't know anything about art. I know. I got it. You're right. And then this is the part of the conversation where every artist literally comes into the chat and goes, nah, man, you don't get it. All of my commissioned furry porn is if they were to steal that IP, like that would be devastating, which it would be if that's how you make your money. I totally understand. But I'm not going to make this commission furry porn for free. You know what I'm saying? You better not come for me. You don't understand art, man. Okay? You don't get it. I do. I make commission furry porn. So I know what art is. You don't. Shut the fuck up, Hasan. Especially when it comes to art, considering that all art is in some way, shape, or form derivative, a lot of like corporate IP restrictions unironically eviscerate creativity. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And there's truth to that matter. It's done with labor from thousands of artists in many cases, but once it reaches the corporate hands and is released to the public, I'm not going to fucking make a big issue about people stealing it. You want to know why? Because a lot of people who steal it make something better out of it too. Okay? One, it allows people to access it if they could not otherwise. Okay? And that's a wonderful thing. It allowed me in my more formative years to access many works of art that I would not have otherwise had opportunity to. I buy everything now because of convenience and because I have the money. Okay? And that's fine. Also, I forgot to run the top of the hour ad break, but that's why I can buy everything. Please read this as an artist who agrees with you. The other artists in here are misunderstanding you. They can't see a post-capital based reason to make art. That's the misunderstanding. Chatters are fucking morons. Yeah, that's what I'm mentioning. They're like HVAC business owners complaining about higher taxes when it doesn't apply to them until it gets to the point where the money is inconsequential to them anyway. Exactly. That's it. That's what it is. People are literally not thinking about it. They're thinking about it from the perspective of like, what if I'm there? What if I'm there and like my art is being stolen? Or there's like a minor instance where copyright is like fallen in your favor, and because of that, you just like defend its practice when massive corporations are doing it. Especially when you think about it, especially when you fucking think about like Disney, you know what I mean? The number one IP holders on the planet that have been able to successfully extend the patent for like shit that was drawn, 100 years ago. You know what I mean? All modern art from corporations stands on the backs of public domain, open source of the art world, and commodified and gatekeep it behind IP. It cucks art as a whole. Exactly. Currently drawing DBZ characters for money. F your take, Hasan. Yeah. What, you mean a patent running out 17 years after the last descendant of King James dies isn't good law? Yeah. Oh, there's also the other component. There was a study that found that piracy doesn't hurt games and it may actually help. I don't know if that's like the case or not, but I don't even care. I don't even need that to be the case. How should artists exist in a post-capital society? The way I see it is this. If all of my needs were met, would I still be streaming for 8 hours a day? Abso-fucking-lutely, because I love doing this, okay? So if you love doing art and all of your fucking needs are met, why would you stop doing art? That makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, in all of my years of living on this planet, and for those of you who don't know, I've talked about this before. I used to draw, and I was slated to get professional training. I went to Parsons for a summer semester to do two-dimensional design. I did all of that stuff. Okay? For those of you who don't know, welcome. I used to do all that. I have not drawn at all in many, many years. Okay? I haven't. My dad told me, you're never going to make money doing this. Okay? Don't be silly. You know, I love that this is your passion, but you're never going to make money. That's back when I used to draw literally nonstop all the time. Stop putting titties in the chat in parentheses. That was my weakest moment. So anyway, my point is this. Even back then, I never met a single person who was just like, oh man, I'm just like really good at drawing. That's why I'm doing this to make money. Like every single person was in some with you know, they were passionate about what they were doing. They love what they were doing. Every person that has that one creative endeavor they would pursue if they didn't have to earn a wage. Be a fire rapper, but that's not in my cards. HBO showrunners openly bragged about GOT being the most pirated show ever. Many people like me started watching GOT pirated and then switched on to HBO subscription for the new seasons. Without this many, wouldn't have taken the risk of paying $60 for HBO to see a show they've never seen before. Yeah, there's components like that with it as well. But ultimately, the major reason why people fucking get mad about that is because corporations want to protect their bottom line, and that's it. And they get very mad when their bottom line is not protected, and that's it. If there was no passion in professions and people only picked because of the money, then who in today's society would choose to be a teacher? Great question. Why the fuck would anybody want to be a nurse? Why the fuck would anybody want to be a teacher? There's no money to be made in it, right? There isn't. There literally isn't. There's no fucking money. It's one of those things where you do it for survival. You constantly have to fucking fight tooth and nail to get like living wages. And people greatly abuse that. Did you just say you dropped out of art school? No, I never actually dropped out of art school. I just never really pursued it. Ultimately, though, like I said, I think having a way more open-minded approach to IP is literally better for art in general. Okay? 100%. All art is derivative. People could utilize other people's works of art to both be influenced by, but to also both to be influenced by, but to also like work on top of and rework into something that's even better. Not literally, there's no proof. There's some money in these professions. What? Yeah, dude, you fucking make bank being a teacher. That's why everybody does it. Now rebroadcasting the stream ad free. That's so funny that you just said that because people already do that. And people already utilize my IP regularly. You know what I mean? OBS is maintained by an EDU, which is paid for, not by you, but someone else. That's really funny you say that because I do pay for OBS. Fucking idiot. So no, it is literally in some ways paid for by me as well. You fucking dumbass. Shut the fuck up. Yes, I mean, this is the classic. This is the fucking classic bearded guy's take. In a communist society, society regulates the general production and thus makes it possible for me to do one thing today and another tomorrow, to hunt in the morning, fish in the afternoon, rear cattle in the evening, criticize after dinner, just as I have mind, without ever becoming a hunter, fisherman, herdsman, or critic. Yeah. My man came in so hot with the first day chats, dude. He's like, I'm here to have a debate with you. Anyway. All right. I'm gonna end it here. On this note, we got leftovers tomorrow, puppy soon. Yeah. Right? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, leftovers tomorrow. Puppy updates soon. You just missed the part where people sometimes want art but aren't artists. What? You just missed the part where people sometimes want art but aren't artists. What does that even mean? Like, literally look around. Do you not see like hundreds of artists that I cherish from this community, that I love, that I fucking openly and proudly display their works? What are you talking about? I think he means without capitalism, you couldn't buy art, you wouldn't need to make it. Yeah, that's silly. I mean, that's actually silly. And that example is nullified by this anyway. Keep forgetting about the art of video games? I don't. I actually play a lot of video games just off stream. Sorry. Anyway. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow after leftovers, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow I got leftovers in the morning, and then after leftovers, I will be back here streaming up a motherfucking storm, baby. You already know. Anyway, bye guys. Love you.